1975, a group of communist fighters known as the Khmer Rouge took over Cambodia and began one of the bloodiest regimes the world has ever seen. Some say more than 1.7 million people died under the Khmer Rouge. Others say it was more like 3 million. This fall, the first of 5 senior leaders of the Khmer Rouge will go on trial in a joint tribunal run by the Cambodian government and the United Nations. Some Cambodians hope the Khmer Rouge tribunal will bring reconciliation. Others fear the tribunal will serve as a reminder that Cambodia remains imprisoned by the problems of its past. In Phnom Penh, we visited Tol Sleng, an old school that the Khmer Rouge had used as a prison. Thousands from all parts of the country were taken here for interrogation, torture, and extermination. Upon arrival, the prisoners were photographed, taken to their cells, and tortured. An estimated 14,000 people were executed here. The Khmer Rouge Tribunal, or the Extraordinary Chamber in the Courts of Cambodia, is located about 45 minutes outside of Phnom Penh. The tribunal is expected to last at least 3 years and cost upwards of $170 million. If you divide that by the 5 Khmer Rouge leaders presently in prison, that's $34 million per defendant. Still, many people believe it will be difficult to have a fair trial.
That's the big question. It's absolutely fundamental that if this process is worth doing at all, it's got to be done properly. The people of Cambodia, the victims of the Khmer Rouge, will not accept this process unless it is an overtly fair one. If it's unfair, it won't achieve anything, and that would be an immense disappointment for the Cambodians and for the whole world.
In some parts of Cambodia, there are people who still sympathize and support the former Khmer Rouge leaders. We drove to Pe Lin, a dusty border town near Thailand. There we talked to Ven Dara, a former member of the Khmer Rouge and the niece of a former Khmer Rouge commander. Today, she is a representative of the opposition Sam Rainsy party. She says many people in Pe Lin feel the tribunal is unjust because people in the Cambodian government and internationally also have their hands dirty. After visiting Pe Lin, we set out to Sam Lop, a tiny village nearby. In a beautiful teak house, we met 71-year-old Miamut, one of the top 7 most wanted leaders from the Khmer Rouge regime, and one of 2 former leaders who has not been arrested for prosecution at the tribunal. He says we can film him, but refuses to be interviewed. Miamut has been accused of ordering the mass executions of hundreds, perhaps thousands, of Cambodians. Back in Phnom Penh, the Documentation Center of Cambodia has collected more than 600,000 documents and witness accounts of the Khmer Rouge regime. Yok Chang, the director of the Documentation Center, says he hopes the tribunal serves as a way for Cambodians to learn and draw lessons from their past.
Everyone here is a victim, one way or the other. Even they call themselves a victim of history. So I mean, everybody has a story here, and I can guarantee you it's, you know, the story very similar. As everyone will work in the fields, forced to work without food, separate from the family member. Everyone from the king to the farmer lost a family members, lost home. Everything has been damaged. With broken society, with broken people. We're all broken emotionally, all of us. You know, it's Cambodians are in search of identity, are in search of who we are and what we are.
Just down the street from the tribunal, thousands of women and girls work in garment factories. Many say they remember their parents telling stories about starvation and torture under the Khmer Rouge. But none of them say they're following the tribunal taking place a short distance away.
Do you know that right now in Phnom Penh, they're having a court for the leaders of the Khmer Rouge?
They say they are more concerned with putting food on the table. Before leaving Cambodia, we took motorcycles east towards Vietnam. People in this area experienced the brutality of Cambodia's long war from all directions. The United States carpet-bombed this area in the early 70s. The US-led bombing killed thousands of Cambodians, turned hundreds of thousands into refugees, and undoubtedly helped the Khmer Rouge recruit more support. We sat with Nyang Rim, a shopkeeper. She tells us her brother was killed by a US bomb. She lost her sister and father during the fighting between the Khmer Rouge and the US-backed government. She says that under the Khmer Rouge, she was forced to separate from her family, work in a cooperative, and be married in a mass ceremony to a man designated by the party. She says that anyone who refused would be killed.